I'm so happy. I'm finding poutine tonight. I got my ketchup chips. I got the Aero bars. I'm so excited to be here, and I'm looking forward to tonight.
Sunny, what a pleasure. This is our third interview together. We have seen the trajectory of your career over the last 10 years, but I want to start by asking you this. 10 years, just in the last 10 years, you've just done so many things. You are a serial entrepreneur. What would you say is your biggest moment in these 10 years from an entrepreneurial perspective?
Well, I think in business you're always changing things, so I wouldn't say that like something is one biggest moment. I think it's always about recognizing what works, what doesn't work, and when it's not serving you anymore and it's not working anymore, then to have the capacity and knowledge to know that, okay, let's switch it up, let's start something different, or let's shut this one down. I think it's more about learning as you go and really just being able to recognize these things.
Well, that's really a great lesson that a lot of entrepreneurs, they learn them late, right? They don't know when to pivot. They don't know when, there's enough time now gone into this.
There's so much emotion that's behind it.
Yes.
So I'm not as emotional. My husband's emotional.
Yeah.
But I'm not emotional. I'm always like, all right, let's go. What's next? Let's do it. And he's always like, has more emotional attachment to things, and I'm the opposite.
But that kind of works because there is a certain amount of move forwardness you need in your personality. Like, you need to be able to know when to switch it off.
Yeah.
How do you know? Because I think that's a great lesson for a lot of entrepreneurs out there who are looking into getting into kind of the next phase of their business. Do they go to scale it, or do they shut it down, or do they pivot? Like, how have you learned when to do these things?
When it's not serving me anymore.
Right, right.
It's just so simple. Mm-hmm. I think that, when you are doing so many different things all the time, if it's not working for you, if it's not serving you anymore, then let's move on, let's move forward, let's go do something else. Or do we need to scale up? And I think that's the biggest thing is, recognizing those moments.
And how have you recognize that? I mean, you're like a masterclass in entrepreneurship and in resilience.
Thank you.
How have you done that?
Just by looking at numbers. It's not so complicated.
Yeah, when you put it like that, absolutely.
Are we growing? Are we, plateauing? Are we, moving parallel? Like, it just depends on, what it is.
And when do you know when you're reinventing yourself, which you've done many, many times? And I feel that your reinventions, from my perspective, looking from the outside in, my perspective on your reinvention is you're always expanding and diversifying. So you're not really changing the essence of who you are.
Yeah.
Have I got that right?
Yeah.
Yeah? So who is SUNNY LEONE, the brand?
The brand?
Yes.
SUNNY LEONE is a lot bigger than the person sitting in front of you. Mm-hmm. So that is something that we've worked so hard on and building over so many years, and now 16 years in India. So it's always changing, and I think that's the name of the game. Like, you have to keep moving forward. You have to keep changing. You're gonna try something. I believe in this test theory, where you test something out. If it works, let's go for it. If it doesn't work, then let's pass it up and do something else.
Absolutely. I want to ask you, if you were looking back on your life later on in life, what is that lesson that you wish you had learned earlier than you did?
Put your seatbelt on. It's going to be a bumpy ride. But I promise that there will be rainbows at the end of this journey. So during hard times, or during when things get really crazy, or there's a lot going on in the media, or there's I don't know, some group, some something, some country that doesn't want me to visit them. you just have to keep moving forward. You know, if that door doesn't open, another one will.
But you know, that's the great resilience that you have, which I think is a real marker, as per, you know, one of the great points of you being an entrepreneur. How do you create resilience? Because you know, a lot of people, especially in our culture, right, are afraid to take steps because they're afraid of failure, right? So they're not as resilient. How did you build resilience?
Well, I learned a long time ago that a business is not built like, you know, an Instagram reel going viral. That's not real. That's an exception to the rule.
Yes.
The rest of us have to work for it. The rest of us have to put in that time, put in that, you know, put in the grind, and just keep working every single day. And for me and my background and everything that I've gone through in life, I think that's where my resilience has come from, is just going through so much stuff. But everybody's journey is different, you know, and I think for our young Gen Zers out there, I think that, you know, this idea of, you know, my business is going to blow up, why is it not working, blah, blah, so many different things that they say to themselves. It's not real. It's, you know, and our life is not an Instagram reel gone viral. You know, you have to work, you have to put in the time. We just met somebody the other day when we were in Vancouver. A young gentleman was talking to myself and my security, Jeej, and he didn't realize it at the time, but I'm like, that whole conversation was a therapy session that was so negative, and he wants everything to be given to him in his life but not put in the work, but complain, you know, and so I think this complaining probably needs to stop.
Yes, oh my
out
gosh,
there.
I hear you on that one. What's left on your bucket list?
Left on my bucket list?
As an entrepreneur, let's narrow it down a bit.
Yeah. I would love if anything that we started went public. It would be amazing to do the ding once.
I feel it with your cosmetics.
Thank you.
I feel that, yeah.
Thank you.
Which I had to go to India to actually get, by the way.
Oh, you should have just told me. I would have brought it for you.
Oh, sweetheart.
Yeah.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
I really do. So India is an incredible market for entrepreneurs who have a vision and who have resilience. Tell me your thoughts on the experience of you know, diversifying your brand in India, because you've done it in multiple arenas. Share that a little bit for everyone.
So with StarStruck, we are placed in many different countries, and I think one of the things that's amazing is, you know, having so many different things available to us, and some things are a lot more difficult, some things are not. India is very emotional. Building those relationships is very, very important. And we have noticed that you know, manufacturing all the goods in India and sending them to different countries is something that's working really well. And because both Daniel and I are really on it with whoever our manufacturers are and our distributors in other countries, they're getting that personal touch, and they're getting that I'm coming to your country. I was just in Nepal, like, you know, one of the countries that we do distribution with, and it's so much fun because, you know, we've built this brand in India, and it just is always changing.
But that's the magic of branding, right? If you were to give, you know, leave everyone with just some magic that you've learned along your journey about branding that you wouldn't have known unless you experienced it, what would that be?
I think it's just sticking with it, you know. Nothing's going to happen overnight, and you have to stick with it. You have to be consistent. You have to stay true to who you are, and, you know, don't try and be something you're not, because it's just, at the end of the day, after 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, you just can't, like, fake it for that long. So just be who you are, understand yourself and your brand, and you're going to shine.
Absolutely. And Sunny, any final words that you want to share with at least the women, you know, like the girls and the women from our culture that still hold themselves back because of all of the narratives associated with our culture. Any words of wisdom you can give to them?
I mean, the greatest thing that I could say is, what's the worst that's going to happen? They're going to say no. So keep trying, keep asking questions, keep trying to move forward, and keep pushing the people around you to get what you want. Because eventually they'll get so sick of you asking, they'll say yes.
I love that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.